Hi, my name is Noelle. My SMART goal was to learn how to play the ukulele, starting with basic chords and strumming patterns. I wanted to be able to perform one full song from memory. I chose this goal because playing music helps me relax and express creativity, and the ukulele is a fun, approachable instrument I've always wanted to try. In order to accomplish my goal, I was going to start by learning 4 to 6 basic chords. Initially, I was going to practice for 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, using beginner ukulele tutorials on YouTube. However, this did not happen. Finding time to learn the ukulele was very sporadic. I played for an hour one day, a half an hour the next, and not at all the following day. I chose to learn Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I chose this song because my husband and I got married on a beach to this song, and it holds deep sentiment. The first week I practiced every day. I failed multiple times. I was very nervous that I would not succeed. I found learning how to play the different notes and moving my fingers on certain chords seemed to be the hardest. I knew it would just take muscle memory to get it down. I also knew in order to learn a new task, I must take the appropriate steps in order to succeed. I must set a realistic goal that is measurable, research any sources that may help me, monitor the process, and figure out what is working and what is not working, and adjust my strategies. Learning the ukulele was not easy. I decided to adjust my learning process and go right at my song choice rather than learning the basics. I found a tutorial that showed me how to play the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow with just 4 notes. I took notes, I wrote down the 4 notes and specifically needed to learn, and I wrote down the entire song with the 4 notes used. And I color-coded the notes on my paper and the strings on my ukulele. The color coding seemed to help a tremendous amount. I was struggling with the tempo in my fingers in which I used for each note. This seemed to be my biggest challenge. I still have trouble with the rhythm. It seems like the song gets a little faster as it goes on. Learning how to play Somewhere Over the Rainbow on the ukulele has been so fun. I actually tried to play it for my husband and a few friends to see if I could make it through the whole song. I felt pretty good about my progress. This type of motivation goes along with Albert Bandura theory that people learn by seeing others reinforced or punished for engaging in certain behaviors. I would see my husband and my friends nod their heads along as I was doing good and then stop when I messed up the rhythm. Now that my time has finished for my goal, I have not completely accomplished it. I can play about 2/3 of the song while looking at my notes and following along. My personal learning project increased my ability to understand how individual learning preferences impact learning mastery. I started my project thinking about the basics I would need to learn, but in the end, I focused on the final goal of playing the complete song. If I choose to continue to learn the ukulele, I will need to learn more of the basics instead of just the 4 notes I learned. I think the different learning styles are so important to consider when teaching, and I think I understand that more, that I am trying to teach myself a new instrument. I am going at my goal with the color codes, whereas some people would go at it a very different way. As a teacher, we all know students grow and learn in different paces. The strategies I'd use to allow time for my students when they experience setbacks and deal with errors or stress is to remind them why we are learning this in the first place, to make sure that what we are learning is meaningful, assess my own expectations and the student's readiness to learn something new. Allowing more time in class to work out any confusion and to perfect new skills takes time, so reassessing my own curriculum would be beneficial. Tomlinson's theory emphasizes tailoring instruction to meet the diverse needs of students in the classroom, so I would also make sure that I am teaching something new in many different types of learning ways, provide a variety of resources and games, and make sure there are plenty of options for students to complete assignments and multiple ways of assessing progress. Intentional teachers plan ahead and consider the needs of their students before they teach something new by understanding each student's needs and development level. This goes along with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I work in a high school EBD room, and I've noticed that when our students come in hungry, tired, or upset, they will not be in a good headspace to learn. Their basic needs to be met before they can process any new instructional learning. Same thing with different learning types. Some of our students excel on hands-on learning, and others excel in lecture-based learning and being told what to do. Knowing how your student learns and making sure that their needs are all met in all ways is how a teacher can be intentional, creating a positive, accepting learning environment by taking the time at the beginning of class to help figure out what needs need to be met before we can dive right into class will help your student feel more confident and build a relationship with you. Learning something new can be very stressful, especially if you feel like you're failing and everyone else is succeeding. That's where metacognitive strategies help you think about how you're learning. Things like planning ahead, checking in with yourself while you study, and reflecting on what worked or didn't work can make a big difference. For me, metacognition helped take the pressure off. Instead of panicking when I couldn't play a note right away, I learned to ask myself what technique I might be missing, whether I was rushing or if I just needed to slow down and try it again more mindfully. It made me feel more in control and reminded me that struggling at first is part of the process, not a sign that I can't do it. 3 ways that choice, self-determination, and social cognitive approaches might promote intrinsic motivation when learning new skills are creating a safe, non-judgmental environment, providing constructive feedback, and encouraging self-reflection. When learners aren't afraid of being wrong or judged, they're more willing to take risks and stay engaged in the learning process. Feedback that focuses on effort, strategy, and process rather than just outcomes reinforces a sense of competence and fuels motivation to improve. Giving time for students to think about what they've learned and how they're learning strengthens metacognition and keeps them connected to the process. Overall, this personal learning project has really helped me grow to understand the different learning processes and how to foster positive attributes and to adjust my own teaching strategies to the students' needs. Unlike assignments given in school, this kind of project was driven by my own interest, and it built valuable skills like time management, problem solving, and critical thinking, since I had to plan, research, and adjust as I continued. When you adapt to your students' needs and provide the tools they need, it can boost confidence, foster independence, and help them discover new passions or strengths they didn't even know they had. Whether you're learning to play an instrument, build an app, or understand a new language, the experience pushes you to grow, not just academically or technically, but personally.